There's a misconception that building muscle over 40 is a lot harder. It's like you hit 40 and suddenly your body's just like, no. The only thing that does really change is the fact that you can't continue to train like you did when you were in your 20s. That doesn't mean you can't look like you did when you were in your 20s, if not better. In this video, I'm going to go over the best training program for over 40s to build muscle. Let's dive right in. So what's the best training program for you now you're over 40? The truth is, it's one you can follow right now. One that fits your schedule, one you can continue to commit to, and one that matches your training experience. This will change over time depending on how trained you are, also depending on your goals as well. But as a rule of thumb, it's got to fit with you right now. So first thing you got to do is think about frequency. What frequency can you commit to? How many days a week can you strength train? This is going to help dictate the best program for you. If you can only train 2 to 3 days a week, you should be following a full body split. If you can train 4 days a week, you should be going for an upper lower split or a push pull legs split. I'm not going to go into all the individual nuances because I'll be here for hours and hours and hours. I'm going to assume you're a beginner. You're just starting out. You've never done resistance training before. But even if you have, you can still get a lot of value from this video. So do keep watching until the end. You've probably heard the term noob or newbie gains being thrown around, but this is because when you start out, you're highly sensitive to the training stimulus. It doesn't take much for you to grow, and the ultimate goal is to spend the minimum amount of time in the gym to get the maximum results. Your rate of growth within the first year will be the fastest it's ever been, providing your training is set up correctly. Let's say you start with a 2-day full body split. Let's face it, anyone can fit in 2 45 to 60 minute sessions per week. This will help you also manage your muscle soreness and at the same time will help build the habit. You can add a third session in if you want to maximize muscle growth because you're going to need more volume to do that. According to a 2022 systematic review, which is basically, if you don't know already, it's one of the highest forms of evidence, they found that between 12 and 20 hard sets maximized muscle growth. But when starting out, you want to minimize your muscle soreness. You also want to minimize your injury risk. The best way to do this is to increase volume gradually. We also need to consider the newness of the exercises and routine, and we don't want to create some sort of overwhelm. So even if we're not maximizing muscle growth at this point, you're still going to get a lot of muscle growth. So a 2-day full body routine would look something like this. You want to do an exercise for your chest, your back, your legs, your shoulders, your biceps, and your triceps. So that's 6 exercises in total. And you want to be doing 3 sets per major muscle group. So 3 sets of chest, 3 sets of back, 3 sets of legs. Then for shoulders and your biceps and triceps, which already get hit quite a bit from the other exercises, you want to be doing 2 hard sets. With these sets, you want to make sure the intensity is good enough to cause growth. Like I said, when you're starting out, your body's very sensitive, but I do recommend going at an intensity of 3 reps in reserve. So if you're training at an intensity of 3 reps in reserve, that's 3 reps shy of failure, or a 7 out of 10 in terms of intensity. Or for those of you that have been taught or know the RPE, it's a 7 RPE. I personally prefer reps in reserve, RIR, because that basically tells you when you stop the set, you have 3 reps left. When it comes to rest, I recommend resting 2 minutes between sets. I would recommend leaving at least 1 day between sessions to give your body enough time to recover. After around 2 to 4 weeks, it doesn't have to be 2 to 4 weeks exactly, but if you can, I recommend adding in a 3rd full body session per week. And then from here, some people actually feel that you can stay here quite a while, but I suggest maybe spending 6 months doing 3 full body sessions a week. Then what you can do is you can increase the volume. Remember, we need to increase the volume to optimize muscle growth. If you just don't have the time, you can keep those 3 sessions and just add more volume to those 3 sessions gradually, like I said earlier, because you want to avoid injury and you want to avoid extreme soreness where you can't train. But the reason we don't, well, I don't anyway, suggest doing like maybe like single muscle groups, like a chest workout, back workout, tricep workout, legs workout, is purely, well, legs is a bit different because you've got quads and hamstrings. Research has found that the optimal volume, like inset volume, is 6 to 8 hard sets per session. So if you were to do like a chest session and you were to try and get in like 12 sets, you can be pushing the limits a bit, for example. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. And also it takes up much more time over the week. Then if you've got the time and you can, I recommend moving over to a 4-day-a-week split. Then I recommend doing an upper lower routine, which means you'll do upper twice a week and lower twice a week. It goes upper, lower, then you rest a day, then upper, then lower again. And you repeat that cycle every week. So you're training 4 days a week, and that's one option. The other option is you could do like a push-pull legs split, and you do that over the course of 7 days. It means every week you repeat one of the workouts. So you do push, pull, legs, push. Then when it comes to Monday, you'll do the next one, which is pull, and then repeat the whole cycle again. A push routine would train all the muscles responsible for pushing, like your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. A pulling routine will train all your muscles responsible for pulling, like your back, your rear delts, and your biceps. And your legs, pretty self-explanatory, you train your legs. So you train your quads and your hamstrings as well. And you can continue to do either of these for like ever, just changing the exercises, the intensity maybe at some point, and also the volume. You want to add volume over time, but like I said, gradually when your body stops responding. 99% of you do not need to be doing 5 days a week in the gym doing resistance training. I don't, and I've been training for 18 years now, but 99% of you do not need to be doing that, so I wouldn't worry about that. People that want to compete and stuff, yeah, maybe, but you just generally trying to look the best you can possibly look, I wouldn't recommend it. Like I said, I didn't go into all the individual nuances, so if I missed anything, do comment below any questions you may have. There's lots of nuances, obviously, and everyone kind of responds differently, so you need to pay attention to how you're responding, how you're recovering. Remember, progressive overload is number one. You want to be progressing these routines week after week, and if you don't know the best way to progress your routines, you can watch a video I made a couple of weeks back talking about the best progression model, which is double progression, but I go into a bit more detail in that video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it already, hit that bell notification to be alerted as soon as I post a video. If you're a man, you're looking to maximize the amount of muscle you can build as well as losing fat, head on over to my Facebook group. You can join that for free. It's got a ton of resources that are going to help you achieve the body you want. Until the next video, keep pushing your limits.